Hi foodies! The 1950s ushered in the era of casseroles with the famous tuna noodle casserole that I personally can't stand, but I will link a tuna casserole I love. We're coming up on green bean casserole season. That's right, a couple of weeks that'll be on all of our tables. But here's the thing, I really hate casseroles. I grew up as a kid in the 1970s and my mom kept making them because Betty Crocker kept sending them every month, but I just really don't like them. I find them dry and tasteless and just kind of sitting in my stomach like a rock until I came up with this chicken and rice. It's epic. Epic, is that even still a word? I don't know. 2016 called, but here's how I make it. No particular order of these ingredients: water, parboiled rice because it is more nutritious than white rice, its cousin. It cooks the same way. Now, I'm using skinless, boneless thighs because the flavor and they're more tender, but I sent the man out to the grocery store and this is what he did. God bless him, he wants us to have the best apparently, but $12.22? Holy we're eating this. I don't care. We're eating this until it is absolutely gone. Nothing's going to waste with this because that's a pretty penny for some chicken thighs. Yes, you can use chicken breasts, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. I have some diced celery, a cup of milk. I don't normally say what kind of spice to use, but in this recipe, pick you up some of this Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse, Mrs. Dash onion and herb mix, Hatch green chilies, but if you can't find Hatch, that's fine. I'm using mild. You can use whatever heat level you like. Some diced pimentos, which is nothing more than roasted red peppers diced up, really. Some sour cream. And again, I will link down below cream of chicken soup, the exact measurements. And 2 cans of cheddar cheese soup. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, soups, preservatives, sodium levels, blah, blah. You can use Fiesta nacho cheese soup to even elevate it more. I'm using a little bit of chicken bouillon, more like a seasoning than I am for the actual broth. Some butter, and that's because we're going to be sauteing some veggies in that. Onion, chopped up onion. I'm using yellow onion, some minced garlic, and we are fortunate enough to live right next to Wisconsin, so we get the Dairy State cheese. I'm using medium cheddar. You can use extra sharp, white cheddar. You can use any kind of cheese you'd like, but I'm using the medium cheddar that I will be shredding myself. And red jalapeno flakes to go as a garnish. Now, I highly encourage people to go to Spices Inc. or the Spice House or Penzeys, any of the online spice houses. They have such a great selection of cool and different unique spice blends. Nobody's endorsing me to say any of that. And we're going to have broccoli on the side. I had a little bit of cauliflower left in my fridge, so we're going to do a little medley there. So I'm starting out by sauteing the onion. I'm still doing a learning curve on using an electric stove. I hate them. I prefer gas all the way. So my butter here is looking a little nutty, but it won't affect the final taste. If anything, it might actually make it a little better. Once your onions are soft, you're going to want to add your chicken, and then to that, I'm adding my spices. This Buttery Steakhouse blend, I promise you, you will use it in other recipes. It's not going to go to waste if you buy it for this particular casserole. And the same with the Mrs. Dash. You can't go wrong with the Mrs. Dash blends either. So these are nice little spices to have on hand. And then I'm just putting in a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're just going to brown the chicken lightly. We're not going to be cooking it all the way through. So just let that saute in the butter and onion. And once it's browned, we're going to be removing it from the pan, put it on a plate, cover it up with some foil, and let that rest while we finish up and make our sauce. So now I'm adding the celery and the garlic. You could add those with the onion, but I like doing it after the butter and the spices have been in with the chicken. I think it helps flavor the celery more. I don't know, I'm weird like that. So now I'm just adding my soups. And yes, you can use Healthy Request, you can use the fatter free versions. this is not a health recipe. This is a comfort food recipe. So yes, I'm going a little rogue using some processed stuff. Sometimes you just got to. It's just, you know, it just is what it is, right? What they say. So now we're just going to make the sauce. I'm adding a little bit of my chicken bouillon, which you can do to taste. You can adjust the seasonings to your liking. Adding in some sour cream. You could, I mean, yes, you could use Greek yogurt if you're so inclined. But it just gives it a little bit more of a creamier, decadent sort of a flavor. And now just mix it all up. Once it's all mixed, we're going to add the pimentos and the diced green chilies and fold those in. And now the milk. We're going to mix it all up like that, and then finally the water. So this is going to be our sauce. And it is so flavorful, it's delicious. Once the sauce has kind of come to a boil, we're going to add the rice, mix that in there, and then we're going to be transferring it to a casserole dish. Let it come to a boil for about a minute or so, and now transfer it. You don't have to butter it or anything like that. And then we're going to nestle the chicken right on top of the rice. Try to cover the chicken up. And oh, I'm telling you, you guys, this is definitely edible. And for me, somebody that doesn't like casseroles, I really, really love this. And it is comfort foodie. It's great for a cold evening. So now I even put a little bit of the chicken juices on top because I'm extra. So now I'm adding foil, and I ran out of foil. This is my last sheet of foil, so it's not covering the whole pan. Ideally, you would like it to cover your whole casserole pan. And we're going to put this in a 400-degree oven for an hour. After an hour, we're going to remove it from the oven, turn the oven off, and we'll put our grated cheese. Again, I grate my own because I don't like the preservatives that are in. I know what you're thinking, but you just used all that soup. Anyway, it melts better without the anti-caking agent. Meanwhile, I'm steaming my veggies because I'm baking this for 15 minutes to let the cheese melt. You can also put it under the broiler, garnish it however you'd like. You can use parsley, you can use a little bit more sour cream, you can use Tabasco, hot sauce, but you really don't need it. It's got plenty of flavor. But I'm using the red jalapeno flakes, and I let it sit for a couple minutes, and then I serve it up. And it is just so yummy. It's creamy, it's not dry, the chicken is completely tender, it's very flavorful. Try it, let me know what you think,